welcome to the B3 Lockdown Club, Steve Kirby, who's going to help us with pace and fast bowling. How are you, Steve?
Yeah, top class, Blathers, top class. Back into quite a bit of training at the minute. Obviously, this lockdown's been quite hard work for everybody, not just the players. But you know, we've been able to keep in sort of these elite bubbles, as it were. I just hope it all goes away pretty soon and we get back to normal, mate. Really.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. And you know what we're trying to do is obviously help those who are less fortunate than elite bubbles. Yeah. You know, your club cricketer, your young cricketers in particularly are missing some massive development in their formative years. And what we're here to try and help them with, I suppose, is there is stuff they can do, isn't there?
There certainly is. There certainly is at all levels. And it's ironic, really, because it don't matter whether I'm dealing with a first-team player or even if I'm dealing with a young lad coming, under 12 or under 11 coming through the pathway. The same principles as a bowling coach is something that I follow all the way through. So it don't matter what age you are. Yeah, absolutely. You've just got to have, basically the best players have the best basics, mate.
Superb. And you obviously had a great career, but it wasn't easy. It stopped and started. I mean, you started at Leicestershire as a YTS, which for the younger members of the audience is like the academy back then.
Oh, yeah. 25 quid a week I was on. 25 quid a week. £5 a week? 25 quid a week.
£25 a week, the old YTS.
Yeah, it was. It was on the old 3A scheme. And then, I was 6, just turned 17 when I moved away from home, moved down to Leicestershire, and Jack Birkinshaw helped me big time. And then probably by the time I was just about 18, I signed my first professional contract.
But then injury sort of scuppered that for a bit.
It did. And actually, it's really helped my coaching career moving on. I mean, it was quite a big thing to swallow at the time at an 18-year-old. Well, I was just 19 at the time, actually, when I had a really big side-on action. Used to close myself off with my front leg, get right round, if you like, in a side-on way. And my body physically and my action physically couldn't actually cope with that. And I had a lot of problems with my lower back. I had a big, I won't go into the details of it, but I had to go through a bit of an operation, a huge rehab program. I had to change my action from being really side on, closing myself off, to really front on, which was quite a big change. It was something that Jack Birkinshaw hugely helped me with. I was running around the ground, lap after lap after lap, trying to understand how my back foot was going to land, because it's really hard to change your back foot from side on, closed off, to landing sort of more midway in a front-on action, and understand the mechanics of that, and understand how you're able to, hopefully keep the same pace, which is what I was able to do. And actually, when Leicestershire actually said to me at the time, if you get back bowling quick in that year that you come back from your, this injury, if you get back bowling quick by August, we'll definitely offer you another contract. And I did. I was back bowling quick. Played against India, all of them, Dravid, Tendulkar, the lot, bowled really well. And then they released me in October. It was quite a big thing mentally to deal with, because I'd got myself back physically. And if I'm honest with you, at the time, it was a massive big pill to swallow, being released. But, at that time, I don't think I was physically or mentally strong enough to be a professional cricketer. And then, although it was the worst thing that ever happened to me at the time, it's probably the best thing that ever happened to me, because it showed me exactly the desire, the hunger that was needed to go on. You
did have that desire and that hunger, and at the age of 24, Steve Oldham at Yorkshire gave you a second chance, which was brilliant.
Yeah. Oh gosh. I think I was about 22, actually, 24. But I might have looked at 26, 34, maybe. I'm
still in Wikipedia.
I I don't know. I think I was 22, but gosh, I was selling floors at the time for a family company, a company called West Coast Flooring, and he was my father-in-law's sort of nephew, Carl, and God, it was quite. You can imagine selling floors, and all I really wanted to do was still be a professional cricketer. And so I would work 8 in the morning till 6 at night, and then I get in the gym, get fit, get strong. I went off, moved away from Kirby Cricket Club in Leicestershire, went back up to Lancashire to play in the Ribblesdale League, bowling 25 overs, unchanged from one end, which taught me a lot. And ironically, I was given. I'd got no holiday left whatsoever, Blathers. No holiday left whatsoever. And I'd played a bit of second team cricket with Yorkshire, done well, took a few wickets. But then Steve Oldham rang me up and he went, here, Curbs, we need you to play tomorrow, lad. And I said, so I don't know, I can't. I've got no holiday left, you know. Oh, he said, that's a shame. He said, might have to ask someone else. He said, you sure you don't want to play in the first team tomorrow? I was like, you're joking, aren't you? Yeah, and then he ended up, I said, what, first thing? I said, I don't know how that's happening. I said, you know, you've already started the game, haven't you? There were day 2 of a game against Kent. And Oggy had been called up to England to play against Pakistan, I think. And they were able to, which now happens quite regularly, but was quite unbeknown at that time, just bring in a replacement in the middle of a first-class game. So I said, leave it with me. I said, I just need to go and ask my boss. So I dropped the phone. So I'll ring you back in 2 minutes. I went downstairs and I remember the conversation with Carl, and Carl said, under no circumstances are you going to have any more time. He said, you've got to make a decision now. You're either going to play cricket or you're going to sell floors. And I was like, well, I said, it's the first team, Carl. And they got a game against Kent. And he's like, what? I said, honestly, he said, right, leave it with me. He said, I'm going to drive you up the motorway. And he did. He drove me up the motorway, stopped in the Wheatwood Hall Hotel, packed all my stuff up. Well, I did. I rang SO back and said, I'm playing, obviously, first. And never looked back, mate. Yeah.
Fantastic. And, I mean, the key thing there is that all that hard work you had to do to get back, if players put the work in now, that they're going to feel the benefits when the season starts, whenever that is. If we just sat on the sofa, played Xbox, did nothing, the game's going to suffer, and more importantly, your body might suffer.
Oh, definitely. And there's always something you can do in the back garden. You know, there's always something you can do up against the side of the house. Paint some stumps on the wall with some chalk, or put yourself down a little train track, run through the train track. And I mean, we'll go through some drills in a bit and some games that we can go through. But ultimately, if you have a deep love and a deep desire for the game, and you're always looking to get better, that's the only thing I ever look for now as a coach, is whether they've got that deep underlying love for the game and whether they want to be better than they were the day before. Now, I know it's tough in lockdown. How can you be better than you were the day before? Keep watching the test match, keep watching the ODIs and the T20s, you know, keep trying to learn all the time, you know, and then it'll just make you even more hungry when you do actually get an opportunity to get out there and play. But don't just be out there cold, being trying to stay on top of your basics, both with bat and with ball, is going to hold you in good stead.
Perfect. Listen, mate, I know you've got a busy evening. Really appreciate your involvement. There's going to be a lot of club players and club coaches indebted to you. So thanks very much for your generous support of this project. No,
it's an absolute pleasure, Blathers. I think it's fantastic, and any which way that any of us can help out at these difficult times is fine. So, yeah, anytime you need, mate.
Top man. Talk soon.
Cheers, mate.